Welcome to Ask GMBN Tech. This, as you all should hopefully know by now, is our weekly Q&A show related to mountain bike tech. If you've got any questions, let us know in those comments underneath. Use that hashtag Ask GMBN Tech and we'll pick up the questions. Right, now this is quite cool. This is a tool related question. So this one's from Charlie P. Hey Henry and Dolly, I don't always want to send my bike to the bike shop every time I need to service. And I want to upgrade it in the future, so I'm going to need a toolkit. I was looking at the Topeak Prepbox. Is that essentially what I need, as I've only got Allen keys, pumps and brushes, and is it worth it? If not, what would you recommend, as I know Part Tool does a similar kit but doesn't look that useful. Alright, so Topeak Prepbox, amazing kit. I think they actually do several different tiers of that, so you can go to the full workshop spec or the more basic ones, and Park do the same equivalent. But think about it in a different way. They both make excellent tools. But what I'd suggest is actually starting with what you truly need and then adding to your toolkit in time. By all means, ignore my advice, but I built my toolkit starting slowly from the things I specifically need. So I'm just going to read a list of some of the classic tools and you're going to see a few pop up on the screen. So a quality Allen key kit is exactly what every biker needs. Now it's up to you whether you want to have a multi-tool style one like these Park Tool ones, or if you want to have a Y-handle wrench, or if you want just regular Allen keys. That's entirely up to you, but get the best ones you can afford. The sharpest edges and the toughest metals is what you're looking for, and they will last many years. If you buy cheap Allen keys, they will deform and you can round off the heads of bolts. So just think about that, get that one done. Torx keys, you only really, unless you have formula brakes or some other oddities on your bike, you only really need a T25. So you could simply get a Torx T25. You don't need to get a full kit, so that can save you money. A chain whip, an adjustable spanner and a cassette tool. So if you want to be changing your chain and cassette on a bike, which naturally you're going to be wearing components out on your bike, they're two of the most sort of consumable parts, I guess you could call them, on a bike you're going to wear out. And the bike shop, although they won't charge you labour if you buy the components there, it's nice to do the stuff yourself. You can understand your bike a bit more, and I think that's where you sound like you're going. So get yourself a chain whip. There's various different brands on the market. Topeak can make excellent ones, Park also make excellent ones, and there are a number of other ones out there. Just make sure the chain is compatible on the chain whip with the correct amount of speeds that you have on your bike. If your bike has 12 speeds, make sure the chain whip is compatible with 12 speeds, because the actual chain on there is key in that. Adjustable spanner, any old adjustable spanner will do. You probably got one already. You can also use a vise. You don't necessarily need a spanner to hold the cassette tool. You can put a cassette tool in the vise and you can turn the whole wheel with the chain whip. It's another way of doing it. But an adjustable spanner is a classic thing that really you're going to need for other jobs around the house, working on the car, all sorts of stuff. So get yourself an adjustable spanner, be done with that. Now, a bottom bracket tool that's going to suit your bike, that's a good example of something to have. Over many years, you will get a few different bottom bracket tools because you'll go into different bikes, different bottom bracket systems, and they all use different things. A chain tool is a really good idea to get. Again, buy a decent one, buy one that's a bit more future-proof, one that can be used on multiple sizes of chain, as in like 10, 11, 12 speed chains. Get a workshop spec one and you'll never need to get another one. When the pins eventually break on them, because they do just with overuse, I did one actually not too long ago on a Park Tool I've had for about 12 years, so it's pretty good innings by all accounts, but it just means you can replace that one component and your chain tool is happy and it's good to go again. You buy a cheap one, you will break it and you'll buy another one. So only a rich man buys cheap tools. Last one is get a bleed kit for your brakes. I say for your brakes because there's different brakes. You get mineral oil systems, you get dot oil systems. Now, if you're getting a mineral oil system, you can take advantage of that and get yourself a big container of mineral oil and you'll be able to bleed many sets of brakes and many times. But with dot oil, you only want to get a small container, the smallest one you need, because once that oil is open, the oil actually ingests air over time and becomes basically soiled or less good for use. So really just stick to what you need, and when you do need to bleed your brakes, open a fresh container, basically. That's the best way to do that. All right, now for another question from Corey York. I've seen you before on Ask shows, definitely seen you. So hey Corey, Hey guys, Corey from West Virginia here. I've been seeing adverts for the D1X Electronic shifting mech. Alright, so that's that Archer system. So for those of you who don't know, you use your regular derailleur. It's like a slave system that mounts on your chainstay, and it has an electronic communication that's wireless to a little module on the handlebars. And basically the cool thing is electronic shifting with nothing in between, but you use your conventional rear derailleur. Costs less than $400. Have you tested it? What's your opinion on it? And could you do a review on it? Well, we don't really do reviews here, and I haven't actually ridden it, although I am very keen to try it out. It looks like a really cool system, and the thing I especially like about it is it's compatible with all sorts of different speed rear derailleurs, and you basically sync it, you can control it with an application on your phone or on your device. I think it looks really interesting, although the skeptic in me does say that I'm a little bit concerned about the device being mounted on the chainstay there. You've got to bear in mind that I ride in mostly wet conditions. All right, so we're in sunny Bath today, but it's not normally like this. Provided it's waterproof, I'd love to put one on my bike and try it myself and see how they work. I guess the beauty is you get that electronic shifting using your conventional derailleur. So if you do manage to damage it, you don't have the bigger expense that you would have with the access system. That said, there's nothing out there like the SRAM access system. That really is a formidable piece of kit. And again, I'd love to have one of those on a bike, but I haven't really got the pounds for that one, unfortunately, just yet, but maybe one day. Okay, and over to Gary Bunk for this one. I've got a question about volume spaces in a fork. I've got a 2018 Diamondback Catch 2 full suspension bike that's running a Fox Rhythm 34 fork with a grip damper and 130mm travel. I think I've got it set up with 18% sag on a fork, so that's 86 psi with 5 clicks of rebound. Good, quite specific, I like this. I don't believe that the fork came with any volume spacers as stock. For 95% of my riding, the setup's been great, although recently I've noticed rock drops to flat from about 18 inches on bottoming the fork quite hard and abruptly. Does this indicate I should be running some volume spacers? If so, how many should I start off with? Generally my riding's not too rough, I'm perhaps using 30 to 40% of the travel. Okay, so if we go backwards here to the end, you generally want to be using a little bit more of the travel, so that would suggest that a volume spacer would help you in resisting the bottoming out, but also allowing you to use a lot of that suspension travel. But at the same time, you've got to bear in mind, as your riding progresses, you're going to be using your travel more frequently, and you can expect to bottom the fork out, basically. Now, it's not bad for a fork. The fork is designed to be bottomed out. It's just how nice it feels to you. So yeah, you can tailor that with volume air adjusters, basically. And you can run, I think, on different forks up to 5, depending on the model and the travel of yours. Start with 1, you can move to 2. It's a really simple process. When you buy volume spacers, they tend to come in a small bag. Try 1, go out there and try it with the same pressure. You might feel that you want to increase the pressure, you might feel that you want to decrease the pressure. It really is something you do need to play with. The best advice I can offer is go and ride a section of trail that you're really familiar with and where you do have those problems. Maybe you need a friend to help you here. They can video it on the phone to sort of monitor how much you're using the travel in combination with looking at the O-ring. Go and try the section of trail, then carefully make sure you do it in a way you're not going to damage anything on your bike. Try it with a volume spacer, then try it with 2, and just see what you can correlate there, basically. It's a trial and error, really, to get the best of both worlds. But yeah, definitely try it with 1, maybe 2. The more you put in, you can end up with a harsher feeling fork, which actually goes the other way, so sometimes less is more. Okay, over to Peter now. I ride a diversity of trails where I'd benefit from changing between a 34, which is stock, and a 36 tooth chainring on my 1x12 setup. Do I need to change my chain length as that 36 tooth is bigger? High gear, the small cog, shouldn't care, but I'm not so sure about how much I can stretch the derailleur. In all honesty, it completely depends on how much chain you have on your bike. If your bike, they're a bit generous when they put the drivetrain together on there and you've got full length chain, you'll probably get away with it. I changed recently from a 30 to a 34 and I just got away with it. That was on my Nukeproof Mega. I'm talking just here. So it is worth checking. You can do this by disconnecting the chain basically and using a bit of bent spoke, something like that, to hook between the chain without committing to rejoining it again before considering that. Now definitely try this as well and cycle your suspension, because if your suspension has any sort of chain growth in it, that is another factor you need to take into consideration. But You can definitely get away with it a lot of the time up to 2 teeth, up to 4 in my case on this one bike, but it did have a full length chain to start with, so basically I took up some of that slack with the bigger chainring. But like I say, it does differ because there's no one bike that's got the same length chain stay and the chain combination with the chainring size. They all vary very slightly, so you will need to try that one, but just take into account the chain stretch and of course if you've got a suspension bike, any chain growth you might have on that. There we go, there's an end to an Ask GMBN Tech, quite a festive one. I think it's time for me to go and have a drink. In the meantime, can you click that subscribe button, hit the little bell for notification, and there's a couple more videos right down here. Cheers guys.